So the next question you might ask is, what is aspiration? Well, when I train my patients on aspiration, I use an iPad app to do so. So we're going to switch over to viewing my iPad. Okay, what we have here is an image of a person, and it's as though you've been sliced right down the nose. So on the back side here, you'll see the spine. Here on the front is the nose, the lips, the chin, and then on down to the throat. So first I'm going to introduce the most wonderful muscle in the entire body, the tongue. You'll be surprised that it is actually a pretty large muscle. We normally just see this top part when you're looking in your mouth or you stick out your tongue, but it extends way down here below your chin. And it plays a really important role. It works hard to organize food, get the food ready to swallow, and then the back side of your tongue plays a key role in being the first force of propulsion to push that food or liquid down into the throat. All right, next let's talk about this cool structure here, which is the voice box, and we call it the larynx. So right directly behind the Adam's apple here is where this fine gray line, those are your vocal cords. And I'm going to point out a couple of cartilages that you'll notice on the image of the swallow. This darker pink one right here is a cool little guy called the arytenoid cartilage. There's actually two of them. And then this larger cartilage here is the epiglottis. I point these out because if you have an x-ray of your swallow and you're reading the report, it may mention how the epiglottis is functioning. Now these are cartilages, they're not muscles, so they can't act on their own. There are a whole ton of multiple muscle groups that are involved in this whole process of swallowing. They just don't show up here on this image. All right, so when I play this, you'll notice that when the swallow happens, the larynx moves up and forward to get out of the way so that food can go down the backside and go into your esophagus. What, of course, we're trying to avoid is to have any food come into the larynx, and we don't want anything to get past the vocal cord, because here I am answering the question of the day. Whoops. What is aspiration? Aspiration is when material goes past the vocal cords and goes down toward the airway. So first, I'm just going to play it in normal time. The swallow happens really fast. Boom. It looked like they just took a nice, good gulp of milk. So we need to analyze it a little bit, and I'm going to slow it down quite a bit so that we can see what's going on. So you'll notice that the tongue is going to work to organize the material into a nice glob. We call that a bolus. So it prepares it, collects it, and now it's going to push it down the throat. And since the larynx gets pulled up and out of the way, then the material is going to go on down into the stomach. I'm going to back that up just a little bit so that I can show you that cool epiglottis and that arytenoid. So right here, that arytenoid came forward, the epiglottis flipped over the top, and it just kind of, the whole mechanism works for keeping you safe. All right, so now we're going to look at a situation where someone's swallow isn't so great, and it's going to demonstrate aspiration. So I'm going to play this. You'll notice that this person is barely even moving. The liquid falls over the back side of the tongue. That epiglottis never really flips over, and then boom, material entered into the larynx went past the point of the vocal cords, and you can see the white material down here. It's already in the trachea, and it's just going to filter down into the lungs. So this is what we need to assess. This is very similar to what you would see on a video fluoroscopic swallow study or an x-ray of your swallow. And it's what we need to look at to determine what are the problems with the swallow, and then that will guide my treatment so that I know what we need to work on to improve the swallow. So I hope that answers the question of what is aspiration. It's when material gets past the vocal cords and goes down toward the lungs. All right, thanks so much.